And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Let's check in with the venerable Steve Malzberg and see what he has planned for this evening. Stevie!
Well, Joe, Hillary finally hands over that scrubbed-down server. What will they find on it? Pat Buchanan will be here to talk about that and also about his piece, Taking Down the Donald. We'll also have Brent Bozell, the Malzberg panel, and a lot more. It's all next, so keep it where it is right after the Daily Wrap.
And we will. So, all right, let's read some of your viewer comments. First up, Andrew says, I think Donald Trump is on the right path and the man for the White House. He is aggressive, knows the issues, and has the backbone to back it up, which is what America needs. A good, strong leader. One exclamation point.
And CN says, I feel a vote for Trump ensures Hillary isn't elected. If Trump doesn't get the GOP bid and goes independent, that would split the vote and Hillary would be elected. I don't agree with his colorful comments, but I have to vote to defeat her.
And Patty says, Megyn Kelly has a chip on her shoulder, and I will no longer watch her show. It was a hideous question that had no who, what, or where. On that alone, I gave her an F in her supposed profession and question. Know-it-alls like Megyn should get another job. I watch Newsmax thanks to her.
We like hearing that. Randy says, new viewer to your station. Attaboy, Randy. And I say, thumbs up. I'm a convert, so keep up the good work. Thanks from California. We'll try, Randy.
And Deborah says, I used to watch Fox, but since the treatment of Donald Trump, I no longer watch them and now watch Newsmax TV. The media and the GOP should be helping Donald Trump to get elected and not push him out. We, the electorate, will not tolerate it any longer. I don't think they should be helping.
Boy, we are popular. And Nancy says, I have found a new news program. I have grown disappointed with Fox News lately. I'm a Trump fan and sick of Fox bashing him and his supporters. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy.
And let us reiterate once again, we are not cherry picking these things at all. These are the comments that we're receiving in droves. Finally, Richard says, I have switched to Newsmax for my unbiased news. I am staunchly behind Ben Carson, but I am for debate, not spin. If anyone was to call out Mr. Trump, it should have been the candidates. The moderates made the debate about themselves. So take note. Rick.
And Rick says, just watch Daily Wrap. Unger is right. Boy, there's something you don't hear every day. I was a loyal Foxer until the fake debate. Haven't watched them since. I'm a new Newsmax viewer from now on.
All right. And Pat says, quit watching Fox because they're not fair and balanced after what they did to Trump. Started watching Newsmax. Keep up the good work. Great show. Thank you, Rick. Keep it going.
Jay says, Jonathan Gilliam was so right on his final statement regarding Fox. I was an avid viewer, but am now 100% watching Newsmax. We're supposed to discuss now, but I don't know what to say. That's so nice. All these people saying this.
I'm feeling nervous.
Should we send Roger Ailes a thank you note? What do you think?
Roger or Megyn or somebody.
Boy.
But certainly there has been a backlash, no question. If you look at Megyn Kelly's social media accounts, apparently has lost thousands of Facebook followers. Social media, obviously, the Twitter sphere is always a swamp, but it's been particularly nasty towards her. Noah, you worked at Mediaite along with me at one point. Do you think the questions were fair or were they out of bounds?
I think that the criticism of the debate moderators as having talked too much and made it possibly about them is not invalid because objectively that's true. They talk the majority of the time, more so than any of the other
31% of the time is
exactly. Whether or not that question was fair, I don't think that's a fair criticism. I think that people are getting emotional and frustrated with how Donald Trump is behaving and how he's being received as a result of his own behavior. That the woman who said, or whoever said that the question didn't contain a who, a what, or where, it contained all those things. It was perfectly pertinent. This is the kind of stuff that presidential candidates get asked. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Exactly. And when you have candidates on stage, each of them have different weak points. And Megyn Kelly and Chris Wallace and Bret Baier all targeted each of their weak points. Some have bigger weak points than others. Jeb Bush was Common Core.
But were any questions about policy with Trump? I think that is what the backlash is coming from, that they were all personal comments about him and not so much about and the questions were very fair.
Women is a policy.
The one question where we're talking about, which was about how he's treated women, was the question we're asking. All of them were policy.
But that is a policy. I think that that's a huge area of policy.
The way it was put out there took it somewhere else. But I do want to say this as a young guy who's had a few years in the television business. You know, this is frankly the sort of thing that puts networks up on their feet. And it's important that people know, we understand that we are getting an influx of viewers because of this situation. A, that we're appreciative, and B, that we really do take the responsibility seriously. And for that reason, by the way, I'm going to apologize for my Trump hair crack, because that wasn't serious analysis. I take it back. I won't do it again. But we do. I mean, you do feel that responsibility when people start coming to you for more objective coverage.
Absolutely.
And we got to give it to them.
All right, very good. Well, we have one more. Oh, look at that. Jason says, Concha asked, that's me, can Bernie Sanders give Hillary a run for her money? In a world where Sanders is a snowball and the Dem pledge delegates are superdelegates, are hell, Bernie's challenge to HRC would be and will succumb to the same slushy demise suggested by the aforementioned metaphor. Democratic National Committee officers and leaders watch the polls, count the beans, and steer the car, and Bernie doesn't poll well outside of a couple New England states. That's true, and that's about all the time we have, unfortunately. More Daily Wrap in a moment. Yay or nay time.